All right, welcome in everybody. It is time for another free talk from Uma of the Lotus in the Light Metaphysical Center. So glad to have you guys here. So today is Monday, June 6th, and I have an upcoming class at my center on Saturday, June 11th called Munay-Ki. Yes, hibiscus, I realize it's you. I am recording this. I am on Zoom. I am on Facebook, and this will be going up to YouTube. So if you kind of see me answering things everywhere, that's what's going on. So yeah, I'm leading a Munay-Ki Shamanic initiations class on Saturday, and I thought it'd be really cool to do a talk about what Munay-Ki is, because some of you might be interested, and maybe you might want to be in my class or find another practitioner like me who offers Munay-Ki rites. So what is Munay-Ki? Munay-Ki is Quechua, which is a native language in Peru of the Andean shamans. And Munay-Ki translates to I love you. The Munay-Ki are 9 rites of initiations that we take to become a person of wisdom and power. The rites are common to all shamanic traditions, even though they're expressed in different forms and styles in different cultures. They derive from the great initiation from Hindu Valley that were brought to the Americas by the first medicine men and women who crossed the Bering Straits from Siberia during the glacial period some 30,000 years ago. These courageous travelers were called the Laika, or the Earth Keepers, and they had accepted the stewardship of all creation. So when we do a Munay-Ki workshop, what we're doing is me as the facilitator is transmitting the 9 shamanic rites to you, the person who is receiving it. So it's definitely an initiation class. It's about transferring power from one person to the next, right? And it's about allowing this energy to make you become a person of wisdom and power. Hi, Teresa. Thank you for joining us. So,
hello.
The Laika were the people that brought, the Laika are the people that brought the history of the Munay-Ki from the Bering Straits throughout the Americas, and now we have it today. So who were the Laika? The Laika were ordinary men and women who lived extraordinary lives. They were not born with special gifts. They acquire uncommon grace and power through prayer, study of the wisdom teachings, insights, and discipline. Some grew to be renowned leaders and healers, while others lived quiet lives, raising their children and growing corn. The Laika felt the people could come to the Munay-Ki when they were ready and felt a calling to do so. So for those of you watching, yes, Hibiscus says, interesting. Hi, Monique, welcome in. So for those of you watching, if any of this makes sense to you or you feel a calling to it, then we would say you're being called for the initiation, okay? So think about that for a second. How many of you have felt like a calling from your spirit to do more and be more for humanity, right? That is the calling of Munay-Ki. Because remember, Munay-Ki translates to I love you in Quechua, right? As you experience Munay-Ki, you'll feel the presence and sense of wisdom of these luminous ones who have broken out of linear time and dwell in sacred time, in infinity, free from the grip of karma and rebirth. The Munay-Ki will clear your luminous energy field of the psychic sludge left by past traumas. As you raise your level of vibration, these luminous beings will come guide you, connect with them, and you'll be able to recall stories that you never experienced directly, but that are now yours. All right. Yeah, everybody's finding it interesting. So when we receive the Munay-Ki, the workshop is the transmitting of the 9 rites. Hey, Yolanda. And on Saturday, I'll be transmitting these rites to whoever appears and whoever wants to come. But what the Munay-Ki does is it feels like, from my own personal experiences, it fills me with this unconditional love and compassion for myself and everyone in the world. Even people that I'm like hating on or having issues with, it's just overwhelming the love you feel for people in your life, known or unknown to you. Your chakras will become clear and you will receive what we call the rainbow body. This is when the chakras glow with their original radiance, right? And you just get a lot of wisdom, really and truly. After every Munay-Ki class I teach and I give, I get so many new thoughts and levels to things that just felt so basic in the beginning. But then by the end, it was like, wow, you know? So I wanted to tell you guys a little bit, because I don't want to go too much into the manual, of course. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask me. But I wanted to share a little bit about what the 9 rites are that I'll be transmitting in a Munay-Ki workshop. So the first rite is called the healer rite or Voyager rite. Okay, it's known as the healer rite. So the first rite starts with the Voyager rite, which helps us to recognize that we are on a spiritual journey. All right. So this rite connects you to people that have lived before us, medicine men and women who recognize that not only were they on a journey, but that they could impact their journey. They also recognize that their touch or presence had impact upon those around them. By receiving this rite, we acknowledge the journey, our impact on others, and our connection to those who have come before us. So that is what we do the first rite for. It's called the healer's rite. It's allowing you to step on the path of the healer and understand that you are on a spiritual journey. The second rite, remember there's 9 of them, is bands of power. And what we do is we place 5 colored bands of light around your physical body. And each band is connected to an element. So we have the elements of earth, water, fire, wind, and spirit. Okay. And what the bands do is they leave like space between us and the outside world and helps us to also consciously connect to everything and everyone. So it's like removing unconscious and, subconscious fear and allowing you to just live deeply in the moment. I like the bands of power. Number 3 is what we call harmony rites. So with the harmony rites, we work with the chakras and we place an archetype in each chakra. Like I think the first, the first chakra is the serpent. You place the serpent in your first chakra. Teach us to shed our past the way you shed your skin. That is something that I remember we say when we're doing the serpent, right? And it's different animals that, and then of course the lords of the Munay-Ki tradition, right? That we place in the top 3. So the fourth rite is the seer rite, one of my personal favorites, being that I'm psychic. And basically the seer rite helps you to open up the fullness of your sensing and seeing capabilities. 5 pathways of light are woven from the 3rd eye to the visual cortex in the back of the head, and 2 pathways of light are woven from the heart chakra to the visual cortex. So it infuses and reawakens the shaman's way of seeing within you when you take that rite. I got to say that one's powerful. That one is powerful. The seer rite helps us to perceive energy in many ways, and we will no longer be able to block out our own shadow. Hey, Sarah. I'm talking about the Munay-Ki that I'm doing on Saturday, June 11th. So we're going through all the rites. That was rite number 4. Now, rites 5, 6, and 7 are the same rites, but we're working with different groups of people. So in number 5, we're working with the day keeper. Number 6, the wisdom keeper, and number 7, the earth keeper. So with the day keeper, it's the rite of the divine feminine. It helps us awaken and appreciate our feminine gifts. The wisdom keeper, of course, is the divine masculine. So it helps us to be more solitary, focused, linear, critical thinkers, appreciate the divine masculine within us. And number 7 is the earth keeper. That connects us with a lineage of human beings who have lived beyond duality. They have fulfilled their divine feminine masculine, the ego is fulfilled, and the soul begins to lead. Yeah, so it's cool. It's connecting you to the earth. Hey, Timothy, welcome in. And finally, the last 2 rites. The number 8 is the star keeper rite, which expands our being outside of the universe, right? So this is the places throughout all time, to the stars, to the beyond. And we begin to work with energy, time, and space as one. I got to tell you guys, I've taken that rite, of course, several times. And it's interesting once you start to get out of this dimension and you just start to see the bigger whole. That rite definitely helps with that. And finally, the last rite, the 9th rite, is the creator rite. It is the final rite in the process of human enlightenment. It takes all preparation and growing of seeds in previous rites to prepare the luminous body, as well as mental, physical bodies to hold the energy of this rite. So it's about working through your stories, is that last rite. All the ways we make excuses for the way we are, why we are, all the ways we keep looping back to the past, right? To kind of like find our footing. Is fear going to interfere? No, fear can only interfere in anything if you give fear power, right? So that's why I always tell people, like when you come to these classes, especially the initiation classes, where you are consciously choosing to up level your being, you have to be aware you can't come with a duality, right? Because wanting to do that is the biggest form of self-love you have for yourself. When you say, I want to take classes, I want to develop me, I want to expand beyond my current awareness, that is the biggest form of self-love you can show yourself, right? I want to think differently. I want to not be stuck by these judgments that hold me, right? And so if you're coming and then you bring fear with that, then it's kind of like, in a way, you're self-sabotaging yourself, right? I mean, that makes sense, right? That you're self-sabotaging yourself when you show up wanting to do something, but then you also bring fear. Does that make sense, Gio? Yeah. So those are the rites. Those are the Munay-Ki rites. What questions do you guys have that I can answer? You know, anything you guys want to ask, let me know. All right. I don't think anybody has any questions. I'm going to stop recording it for now. So this part for YouTube, thank you guys so much for watching on YouTube. And yes, this class is being offered June 11th, 2022. So if you want to get in time for this class, hit me up on all my social media channels, all my forms of, you can email me info@thelotusandthelight.com or go to my website, thelotusandthelight.com. If you're watching this after June 11th, you can still hit me up and ask me when the next one will be. And I can tell you, because I offer this event 4 times a year. All right, so I'm going to stop the recording.